Oh, wait. On the wrong page. So what's going on, believers? Happy Tuesday. Hope y'all had a pretty cool Labor Day. Whether you worked or didn't work, spent time with family and friends, or spent time alone. Just hope that you had a good time, that you are in good spirits, and that you are full of belief. But I want to really quick look at the markets really quick. I didn't post a review from my previous outlook. What I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm just going to post outlooks because the reviews require getting into the lower time frame, and there's a lot of things that take a little bit more time for me to get into the details about that I'm using as far as my thoughts and different concepts I'm applying when I'm looking at the lower time frames. But I'm simplifying the high time frame outlook process so that it can be easier understood by any viewers. And then, like I said, as far as any reviews, those are going to be more exclusive. Not that they're going to be behind any sort of paywall, but I would like some sort of engagement for those reviews to start back flowing, because what they're going to do is really supercharge the whole process from top-down analysis to taking a trade. And so just a little bit on the just on the side of a little bit of caution. Don't want to really just completely divulge everything that I'm doing to just everybody. So that is going to be that. But yeah, definitely, like I said, looking for some sort of engagement. I am looking for my tribe, if you will. One of my favorite sayings is spread good vibes or you ain't one. Find your tribe or create one. So with the believers, is really just my aim to put a community together of people that just understand the power of belief and use that power of belief to accomplish great things in life, right? But so enough of that, to the charts, right? So weekly chart, this is the current week that we are in right now, right? This candle here. And so the outlook or the drawn liquidity for the week was to take out this week's high. So as you can look at the bottom, Monday, August 21st. So that high there is actually the draw for this week. Now it was last week's high as well, but because they're so close to each other and this was already a draw after this week closed, I just left this as the main one, right? And as you can see already, with it only being Tuesday, still 3 full trading days left, because I already reached that weekly buy side liquidity, as well as this, which is monthly buy side liquidity. This is the high from May, so it's also reached above there, and that's from the weekly. So far so good as far as the delivery on the dollar. And as far as the drawn liquidity is concerned, one thing to keep in mind is it's not about where the candle's going to close. It's about, is price going to reach up for old highs, for the buy side above those old highs, or is it reaching up for some sort of a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency to rebalance, right? And so those are the only two things that matter. Once it gets to those areas, those destinations, if you will, right, there's nothing stopping price from leaving and reversing, right? It could come in to that level or into that range, say what's up, and skate up out of there, right? So the only thing I'm concerned with is what direction do I expect it to reach? Because upon it reaching, for example, from the low of the week to where it's at now, if I'm entering a transaction anywhere in here from around the opening price or lower, right, I'm able to close out my transaction as it reaches up to these areas and close with profit. I don't need it to close higher. I don't need it to stay higher. It could get up here and then reject and take out this low. But as long as what I was looking for played out and I secured the bag as it was reaching up to those levels, I'm all good. I don't care about that, right? If it's to turn around and go take out that low. And so just keep those types of things in mind. But so that's the dollar chart. That's the weekly draw on liquidity's already been met. Dropping down to SPX. So the draw on liquidity here is also the last week's high. So obviously, if you've watched any of my videos before, I like to see dollar and indices doing the opposite of each other. So this puts me on edge with the indices this week. Obviously, as you can see, it hasn't reached that high, and a big part of that reason I would say is because dollar is bullish and it reached this high, not allowing for SPX to reach this high. But let's just say that dollar starts to retrace now, right? That weekly candle starts to move lower from those highs it just took out. That would allow for this to then, right, as the rest of this week plays out, potentially mount a rally to reach up into this buy side up here. And then just to keep this short, I'm only going to do the S&P. I'm actually really not a big fan of NASDAQ and Dow Jones. I'm going to show you why over here. So this is S&P right here. As you can see, this was most of the days trading. Down here is 3 a.m. and this is currently. So it's really just been a sloppy mess sideways, right? NASDAQ here been bullish, as you can see, right? And then this is Dow Jones US 30, it's been bearish. So not only are the draws on liquidity lining up with the dollar, which is already a red flag, but then on top of that, the day after the holiday, I get a lack of symmetry in the delivery between the three indices, right? So those types of things are gonna put me on edge, gonna have my spidey senses tingling or my manipulation senses tingling, and I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious and definitely just gonna hone in on S&P. I like that it's leaving me a range here that I can take advantage of for the rest of the week. But now I'm dropping down to the daily. We'll go back up to the dollar. And so as far as the daily is concerned, as soon as my markups load, there we go. So in similar fashion, right, once Friday closed, that Friday's high was the daily draw on liquidity. As you can see, Monday didn't get there. The short end holiday day was instead a retracement. And then as you can see today, we get that next expansion, which takes out all of these highs, which were shown. Well, this one wasn't shown, but these two were shown on the weekly chart as well. So again, like I said, so far so good as far as the delivery in the dollar. And then looking at S&P, so the draw for this with Friday being an outside bar, meaning it took out Thursday's high and low. So the draw for the daily was actually both, yeah, so which meant neither, right? So I would need to see it reach the high or the low first to give me some information on a closing basis what to expect next. Less than 30 minutes left on this daily candle, so this will give me some information. If it closes below here tomorrow, the draw on liquidity for me is just simply going to be the low. But then also this is where the smaller time frame and other things that I'm using, reference points, PD arrays, stuff like that, right? Keeping in mind this is a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, right? A bullish fair value gap. So as it drops below this candle's low here, right, it drops below this low, which is at 44.96 and a quarter. You can see we haven't got there yet, right? But once it drops below that low, that's officially entering the sell side below this daily candle and this inefficiency here that could act as support. So again, like I was saying, from the weekly perspective, if dollar starts to retrace lower, right, then I could see something like this dropping down into there, finding support, and then eventually making its way back up above last week's high. And so I'm just gonna leave it there. That's all that is really needed, to be completely honest. I could get into the monthly a little bit, but the month just started, so do keep that in mind as well. I'm always mentioning when a new month starts, because now I'm thinking about the monthly delivery, the weekly delivery, the daily delivery, right, and then all the way down to the minute delivery. And soon I will be operating with the seconds charts again. I just haven't been exactly ready for that. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. Shout out to the believers, shout out to the dreamers, shout out to the homies that inspired me to be better each and every day. I love you, I appreciate you more than you know. I'll catch you on the next one. And today, be safe. Peace.